Alright, so let's go over how to edit utility profiles. Maybe you have more accurate data in certain areas and you want to put those depths in, right? So this is relatively easy. First, just like I showed in the last video, if you select your your utility in the properties, you can change that vertical offset. That's just a standard offset from Surface. Um, but I do want to mention that the second you start modifying your profile, that's going to gray out and you're not going to be able to change it because this is no longer ruled to the service to even make that really feasible, right? Okay. So, anyways, creating custom profiles is really you know easy. It's complicated. You can draw in your own profile all you want. You can project. You can use all of these tools over in the geometry, the vertical section, to draw in your own stuff and just make that the new active one. Nothing's stopping you from just saying, hey, you know what, this is my profile, right? Once you make that active, you will see that it will get the right symbology. So as you're drawing this, the feature definition doesn't really matter because when you make it active, you'll see it'll get set. All right. So, but what if you want to maintain some of the existing and just change certain parts of it? So here's what I'm going to show you guys. It's just a bunch of, of clicks here. So if we select that profile, there's a tool here that says convert to profile rule. So we're going to convert it to a profile rule, right? Now that it's a profile rule, we're going to come here, we're going to create a best fit profile. So what we're going to do is, let's take the defaults here, zeros, envelopes. We'll just take those defaults, and what we're going to get here when we're done is we're going to get basically another line here that best fit that profile, which essentially is basically duplicating the profile that's there. All right. And you'll notice that it's using the top and not the bottom of that utility line. All of the utilities are set to use the top. That way when you're giving depth down from the surface, that it's going to the top of that utility. Why all the drainage and um, sanitary are set to use the bottom. So when you're doing things like inverts, the profile that is it's using is that bottom line. So there's a difference between the drainage and the utility stuff. So that's why it's using the top. That's how I've set it. Okay. So now that we got this best fit on profile, if we take a look at it, we want to do one more thing to it here, and we want to convert to profile rule. This makes it a lot easier to modify. Now you see I have all those vertexes and rules here, so I can easily take one of these and move it. Um, I can use civil accudraw to help me move this, and I can use this as the basis, like as the offset, and key in how far that offset should be to get those depth values. Now the station values are the station values of the utility, not the center line. So keep that in mind. But you can use that to help give you some depth at certain locations. Also keep in mind the direction of the utility itself. So, and you might get a situation where the utility, these errors are going upwards and your station is going downwards. So when you're looking at your profile view, it might actually be going in the opposite direction of your stationing. Just things to note here. Okay, so this is just really demonstration. So what I want to do now is, if this is the profile I want it to use, if I come here and I make that the active profile, you'll now see it takes on the right symbology and gets the right, feature definition set. So that's why I was saying, as you're drawing it, the feature definition you're drawing it on doesn't really matter because at the end when you make it active, it automatically sets it to the correct one. And now it is using this profile. And so if you look at the settings on this, I mentioned it earlier. Um, the you won't be able to offset anymore. You notice that that actually is just gone. That parameter's gone now, where it was there before, where you could change the offset from the surface as because your profile is no longer ruled to that surface like that. Okay.